Let's get real about this right now. You've been dating this man and everything seems smooth, like he's showing up when it's convenient, sending the right messages at the right time, laughing at your jokes, calling you sweet names, holding your hand when it's in public, but somewhere deep down, your heart knows something ain't right. You know what I'm talking about. You know that little nagging voice in your head that says, "Why hasn't he claimed me? Why am I not his?" And I'm here to tell you something that's going to hurt a little bit, but it's better you hear it straight. He's comfortable with you, but he's not committed. And those two things, comfortable and committed, are not the same. Let me explain this to you so you can see it clear. So you can finally stop wasting your time and your energy on a man who's just filling a space in his life because it's easy. Being comfortable means that he likes having you around when it suits him. He likes your attention when he wants it. He likes the way you make him feel good about himself when he walks in the room. But don't get it twisted. This is not about love. This is not about respect. This is about convenience. He wants your warmth, your validation, your availability, but he's not willing to put a ring on it. He's not willing to introduce you to his family as the one, and he certainly isn't willing to prioritize you over his hobbies, his friends, his freedom. Comfort doesn't ask for sacrifice. Commitment asks for sacrifice. And women, I need you to hear this loud and clear. A man who is only comfortable doesn't want to sacrifice anything that makes him feel free. He wants to keep his options open. He wants to have you on call. He wants to know you'll be there for him when he's lonely. But don't confuse that with loyalty or partnership. You are not a convenience store. You are not someone to be used when he needs a boost in his ego. You are a human being, and you deserve to be cherished, claimed and celebrated, not just tolerated. Here's the thing. When a man is comfortable with you, he's avoiding the work that commitment requires. Commitment is hard. Commitment is showing up when you don't feel like it. Commitment is being present when life gets messy. Commitment is putting someone else's needs on par with your own. Commitment is saying, "I choose you every day, whether it's convenient or not." And a man who hasn't reached that level of maturity, who hasn't reached that point of clarity in his life, he's going to drag you along like a safety net because he likes the perks without the responsibility. You see, men who are only comfortable with you have no incentive to step up because they already have what they want. And this is where you have to check yourself, because too many women are willing to settle for comfort thinking it's commitment. You get your feelings involved, you invest emotionally, and you convince yourself that his actions are love when in reality, it's convenience. And it's not fair to you. It's not fair to him, and it's not fair to the future that you're hoping to build. Now, I know some of you are sitting here saying, "But he treats me so well, he's sweet, he's kind." Listen, being nice doesn't equal commitment. Being funny doesn't equal commitment. Being attentive when it suits him doesn't equal commitment. Commitment is consistency when it's hard. Commitment is choosing you when other options exist. Comfort is showing up when it's easy, when life is simple, when he feels like it. That's a big difference, and it's a difference that most women ignore, because love can blind you. Love can make you overlook the gaps between what you need and what he's willing to give. But I want to encourage you today to open your eyes. I want to encourage you to see the pattern. If he disappears when it's inconvenient, if he's distant when things get real, if he avoids labeling, if he avoids introducing you to the important parts of his life, he's comfortable, not committed. And the truth is, a comfortable man will never, ever fully commit until he's ready. And ready might not include you. So the question becomes, are you going to sit around waiting for him to grow up? Or are you going to claim your worth and find a man who's ready to show up fully? You see, comfort is selfish. Comfort is convenient. Comfort is what keeps a man from having to look at his own fears, his own insecurities, his own weaknesses. He doesn't have to risk rejection. He doesn't have to sacrifice his freedom. He doesn't have to face accountability. Commitment requires all those things. Commitment is scary for men who aren't emotionally mature because it forces them to grow. It forces them to step into responsibility. It forces them to love you in a way that's bigger than themselves. And some men aren't willing to do that. Some men will rather have you on standby, on speed dial, on reserve. than actually invest. That is a fact. And it's not about you being too much too emotional, too demanding. It's about him being too small to handle the real thing. Here's where most women make a mistake. They try to fix the man who isn't ready. They try to convince themselves that love alone is enough to change him. They try to soften his edges, to make him feel safe, to mold him into the man they wish he was. And all the while, he's enjoying the benefits of your labor. Let me tell you something. Love doesn't work that way. You cannot manufacture commitment. You cannot train a man to claim you if he doesn't already have the capacity in his heart to do it. What you can do, what you must do, is recognize the signs. You must recognize that comfort is a trap. Comfort is a slow drain on your emotional energy. Comfort is a relationship that looks good on the surface, but leaves you feeling empty inside. And I promise you, if you continue to stay in that comfort zone, you are stealing your own opportunity for a real relationship with a man who's ready, willing, and able to love you the way you deserve. So what does this look like in everyday life? It looks like he only calls when he wants something. It looks like he disappears when things get serious. It looks like he compliments you in public but avoids intimacy in private. It looks like he wants the perks of a relationship without any of the obligations. It looks like you rearranging your schedule to see him, while he never adjusts his to see you. And if you are honest with yourself, you know it's true. You know that you feel like you're giving more than you're receiving. You know that you're putting your heart on the line, while he's keeping a comfortable distance. And you know what the scary part is. You're not going to change him by waiting. You're not going to force him to grow up by begging, pleading, or explaining yourself. The only thing you can do is step back, evaluate, and make the choice to protect your heart and your time. Because here's the truth, ladies. You are not too much. You are not overly emotional. You are not broken. You are not the problem. The problem is a man who enjoys the comfort of your presence, but isn't willing to claim you. And you deserve a man who doesn't just like you when it's convenient. A man who doesn't just tolerate your love. A man who doesn't just enjoy your energy. You deserve a man who chooses you consistently, intentionally, and wholeheartedly. And that starts with you recognizing the difference between being comfortable and being committed. When you understand this, when you see it clearly, when you no longer confuse convenience with love, you'll stop giving your heart to men who aren't ready to value it, and you'll start saving it for the one who will. Let's talk about fear, because this right here is where a lot of women get caught up. You've been dating a man, and he seems fine, he seems sweet, he seems like he's interested. But then when it comes to taking that next step, when it comes to claiming you, when it comes to making a decision that would actually define your place in his life, he freezes, he hesitates, he disappears, and a lot of women start asking themselves, is it me? Am I not enough? Am I too much? Let me stop you right there. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not you. It's fear. Fear is the silent killer in relationships. Fear keeps men from stepping up. Fear keeps men from making decisions. Fear keeps men from claiming the woman they really want, because they are terrified of what commitment demands. And I want to break this down for you so you can see what's really happening. So you can understand that his hesitation says everything about him and nothing about your worth. Fear comes in many forms. It could be fear of responsibility. Some men have grown up watching relationships fail, watching commitments fall apart, and they carry that trauma around with them. They're scared that if they claim you, if they step up, they might fail. They're scared of letting you down. They're scared of not being enough. And because fear paralyzes them, they choose the safe option. They keep you around, they enjoy your company, they enjoy the intimacy and the affection, but they won't put a label on it. They won't define you. They won't claim you, because that would require them to face their own inadequacies. And that's scary. Then you've got men who are afraid of losing their freedom. Oh yes, freedom is a big one. Some men view commitment as a cage. They hear the word relationship, and their mind immediately goes to restrictions, rules, responsibilities, and they run from it. They like having you around, but they want to make sure they're still free to do what they want, see who they want, go where they want, without being held accountable. So they keep you in that gray area, close enough to feel far enough to avoid responsibility, And a lot of women fall for it because he's nice, because he's charming, because he makes them laugh and feel special. But that fear of losing freedom is a prison disguised as comfort, and it's trapping you emotionally while he stays safely on the sidelines. Some men fear vulnerability. Let's be honest, stepping into commitment requires a man to be vulnerable. He has to open his heart, expose his feelings, admit his weaknesses, and that's terrifying. For some men, admitting that they love you, that they want you exclusively, that they're serious about a future with you, feels like exposing themselves to potential pain. And to avoid that, they hold back. They send mixed signals. They flirt. They disappear. They act hot and cold. And women, it can drive you crazy because it's confusing. You're left trying to figure out why a man who says he likes you won't take that final step to claim you. But fear has a funny way of freezing people in place. And that's exactly what's happening here. Now, let me tell you something else. Fear can also look like indecision. Some men aren't necessarily afraid of you. They're afraid of making the wrong choice. They're weighing options in their mind constantly, thinking, what if I commit and it doesn't work out? What if I lose my independence? What if I make a mistake? And while they're stuck in that loop, they keep you around as the safe option. You are the girl they like enough to have, but not enough to risk everything for. And here's the kicker. They don't even realize the damage they're doing. They're thinking about protecting themselves, but what they're really doing is keeping you from being claimed, keeping you from experiencing the love and security you deserve. Ladies, this is where you have to step back and understand a very important principle. Fear is not your problem. Fear is his, and you cannot fix it. You cannot convince him to stop being afraid. You cannot plead, beg, or explain yourself out of his fears. You cannot reassure him into claiming you, because fear is internal. Fear is emotional. Fear is mental. It's a part of him that he has to work through on his own. And too many women make the mistake of thinking it's their job to make him brave. It's not. Your job is to recognize fear, see how it's impacting the relationship, and decide whether you are willing to wait for him to work through it, or whether you are ready to step into a relationship with a man who already has the courage to love you fully. Some men fear the long game. They're okay with the short term, the easy, fun, the casual connection, the attention. But when it comes to planning, when it comes to setting goals, when it comes to envisioning a future together, they panic. Commitment means long-term thinking. Commitment means investment. Commitment means sacrifice. And if a man isn't ready to invest, if a man isn't thinking long-term, if a man isn't willing to sacrifice his comfort for you, then fear will keep him from claiming you. And you have to be honest with yourself and recognize that. You have to look at the patterns, the disappearing acts, the inconsistent communication, the reluctance to define the relationship, the excuses for why he can't prioritize you, and understand that these are signs that fear is controlling his actions. Here's another truth. Fear often masquerades as everything else. It looks like laziness. It looks like selfishness. It looks like he's just not that into you. And sometimes all of that is true. But a lot of the time, the real root is fear. Fear of commitment, fear of failure, fear of vulnerability, fear of losing freedom. And a man who's not dealing with that fear, a man who hasn't confronted his own insecurities, will continue to keep you in limbo. He will continue to enjoy the benefits of your presence without ever stepping into the responsibilities of claiming you. And women, let me tell you this, recognizing fear is not about judging him. It's not about hating him for being afraid. It's about protecting yourself. It's about understanding the truth of the situation so you can make wise choices. Because staying with a man who is ruled by fear will drain your energy, it will hurt your self-esteem, it will make you question your value. You deserve a man who is not afraid of you, not afraid of love, not afraid of commitment. You deserve a man who will step up, who will take risks, who will face his fears and choose you anyway. So how do you spot it? You spot it when he hesitates. You spot it when he avoids making plans with you. You spot it when he disappears for days or weeks and then shows up like nothing happened. You spot it when he talks about a future in vague terms but never includes you in the details. You spot it when he gives you mixed signals. hot and cold, giving enough to keep you invested, but never giving enough to fully commit. And when you see this, you have to recognize it for what it is: fear in action. And you have to decide whether you are willing to invest in a man who is paralyzed by fear, or whether you're ready to claim a love where fear is not the driver. Because fear is not a reason to stay in a half-life relationship. Fear is a signal to pay attention. Fear tells you where the boundaries are, and it tells you what you're dealing with. And once you see it clearly, once you understand that this isn't about you being too much or too demanding, you can start to make choices that honor your heart. You can start to look for a man who has faced his fears, who has grown past them, who is ready to love boldly, fearlessly, and completely. And that, ladies, is what you deserve. The kind of love where you don't have to guess, you don't have to plead, you don't have to carry the weight of his fear on your shoulders. That's not love, that's not partnership, that's not respect. And it's time you stop giving your heart to men who aren't ready to claim it because of fear. Now, let's get into a truth that so many women miss when they're caught up in dating a man who won't claim them. This one right here is about value versus readiness. And I need you to pay attention, because a lot of you are blaming yourself for his indecision, blaming yourself for his inability to commit, thinking that if you were just a little different, if you were just a little more patient, if you were just a little less demanding, he would finally step up. But I'm here to tell you, it's not about you. It's about him. It's about his readiness. And until a man is ready to show up, all the value in the world that you bring to the table won't make him claim you. You can be beautiful, intelligent, funny, nurturing, ambitious, and loving. But if he's not ready to take responsibility for himself, for the relationship, for the woman he says he cares about, your worth doesn't matter to him in that moment. And that's not your problem. That's a reflection of him, not you. Let me break this down. A man's readiness is about his emotional maturity, his life circumstances, his clarity about what he wants. Some men are not ready because they haven't grown past their fears, some because they haven't figured out who they are, and some because they're still chasing other things that feel more comfortable, more rewarding, more aligned with their current life. And here's the hard truth. He can see your value, he can recognize everything you offer, he can love you in many ways, but if he isn't ready, he's not going to step into commitment. It doesn't matter how amazing you are, how perfect your love is, or how much you adjust your schedule to meet his. If he isn't ready, he's not going to claim you, and you can't make him. This is where a lot of women get trapped. They confuse value with influence. They think that if they just show more love, if they just give more attention, if they just become indispensable, the man will finally commit. But listen to me carefully. A man who is not ready will not commit, no matter how high your value. Your value is not a tool to manipulate him into action. Your value is your truth. It's your worth. It's what you bring to a relationship with the right man. And the right man, the man who is ready, will recognize it, appreciate it, and claim it without hesitation. But a man who is not ready, he'll enjoy it, he'll accept it, he'll use it to feel good about himself, but he won't take the step that matters because he's not at that stage in his life. Now, I know some of you are sitting there saying, but he talks about the future. He makes promises. Ladies, pay attention to the difference between words and action. A man who is ready to claim you doesn't just talk about it. He shows it. He demonstrates it through consistent, deliberate, intentional behaviors. He makes plans and includes you in them. He prioritizes you even when it's inconvenient. He doesn't just say he wants a future. He starts building one with you today. On the other hand, a man who isn't ready might flirt with the idea. He might tell you what you want to hear. He might drop hints about marriage or long-term commitment, but he won't follow through. His words will sound good, but his actions will reveal the truth. And women, I need you to learn to read the signs, because too many of you are swept off your feet by smooth talk, ignoring the evidence right in front of you. Here's another point that's critical. A man who is not ready will often test your patience. He'll keep you close enough to feel secure, but far enough away to avoid real accountability. He'll give you just enough attention, just enough affection, just enough compliments to keep you emotionally invested, but he won't actually step into responsibility. And when you call him out, When you push for clarity, when you ask him to define a relationship, he gets defensive, he withdraws, or he makes excuses. That is not a reflection of your value. It is a reflection of his unreadiness. It's a mirror showing you that no matter how much you bring to the table, he is not equipped to handle it yet. Some women think that if they keep waiting, if they stay patient, if they keep proving their worth, he will eventually become ready. And let me tell you, patience is a virtue, but patience without boundaries is a trap. You can wait for a man to be ready, but there is no guarantee that he ever will be. Life is moving, time is passing, and your heart cannot be on hold indefinitely for someone who is not prepared to step up. Your readiness for love, your readiness for commitment, and your readiness to be claimed should never be sacrificed because someone else is not ready. And this is where you have to draw the line. You have to recognize that your value is constant, but a man's readiness is variable. And until the two align, you are going to experience frustration, disappointment, and heartache. Let me give you some signs that reveal whether a man is ready or not. He's ready when he makes consistent efforts to integrate you into his life, introducing you to family and friends, sharing his goals and dreams, prioritizing your relationship even when it's inconvenient. He's ready when he takes responsibility for his actions, when he communicates openly, when he doesn't play games. He's ready when he's willing to sacrifice his comfort for the good of the relationship, when he chooses you over tempo, wary pleasures or distractions. And if he's not doing these things, then no matter how much he values you, he's simply not ready to claim you. And it's important to understand that your value is not diminished by his unreadiness. It only highlights the gap between who you are and where he is in his life journey. Now, some women will argue, but he loves me. I can feel it in his heart, and I'm not here to tell you that he doesn't love you in some way. He may very well love you, but love alone is not enough to create a committed partnership. Love without readiness will leave you in limbo. Love without readiness will leave you questioning your worth. Love without readiness will keep you waiting, hoping and wondering when he will finally step up. And that, my sisters, is a dangerous place to be, because it teaches you to accept less than you deserve. It conditions you to tolerate emotional inconsistency. It lowers your standards, and it clouds your judgment. So, the lesson here is clear. Your value does not guarantee his readiness. You can be the best version of yourself. You can give love generously. You can be patient and understanding. But if he is not ready to claim you, he will not. And it's not a reflection on your worth. It's a reflection of where he is emotionally, mentally, and spiritually in his life. And once you internalize that truth, once you understand that his inability to claim you is about him and not you, you gain power. You gain clarity. You gain the ability to make decisions that honor your heart, protect your energy, and align with your own readiness to be loved fully. Because a man who is ready will not hesitate. He will not keep you guessing. He will not leave you wondering where you stand. A man who is ready will recognize your value, match it with his own readiness, and step up to claim you with confidence, courage, and consistency. And until that man shows up, you have to be willing to walk away from men who are not ready. No matter how much value you bring, no matter how much potential you see, no matter how much love you feel, your value is constant. Your standards are non-negotiable, and your heart deserves to be claimed by someone who is truly prepared to love you. Without reservation, now we're going to talk about something that every woman needs to understand if she's dealing with a man who won't claim her, and that is the signs you're being kept, not chosen. This is where the truth will slap you in the face if you've been ignoring it. Because too many women fall into the trap of thinking that if a man is nice to them, if he calls, if he texts, if he spends time with them, that must mean he's committed. But I'm here to tell you, actions speak louder than words, and the reality is that many men will keep a woman around without ever intending to claim her. They will enjoy her presence, her love, her attention, her energy, but when it comes to stepping into responsibility, when it comes to defining the relationship, when it comes to claiming you as theirs, they disappear, they stall, or they make excuses, and recognizing the signs is crucial. Because if you don't, you're going to spend years emotionally invested in a man who never intends to make you a priority. Let's start with the first sign. Inconsistency. A man who is keeping you around, but not claiming you will show up when it's convenient for him and vanish when it's not. He will call when he wants something. He will text when he feels lonely. He will appear when he's bored. But when it's time to commit, when it's time to define the relationship, he's suddenly unavailable. Inconsistency is a hallmark of someone who's not ready to claim you. They don't plan around you. They don't prioritize your time or your needs. They will drop in and out of your life like the weather, and it leaves you feeling unsure, anxious, and questioning your own worth. And that right there is the first warning sign. If he's inconsistent, if he only shows up when it benefits him, he is keeping you around, not claiming you. Second, pay attention to the label game. A man who won't claim you will avoid defining the relationship. He will dodge the "what are we" conversation. He will give vague answers. He will promise nothing. He will leave the door open to options without you knowing it. And women, this is where we get confused. We think, well, he says he likes me. He says he cares. But liking you and claiming you are two completely different things. Claiming you is about responsibility. Claiming you is about exclusivity. Claiming you is about putting you in his life in a real, undeniable way. And if he's avoiding that, if he's dancing around labels, he's keeping you on standby until he decides it's convenient to commit, or worse, until someone else comes along. The third sign is limited transparency. A man who is keeping you will often hide pieces of his life from you. You may not know his friends. You may not meet his family. You may not understand his schedule or priorities. He will give you just enough information to feel like you're involved, but never enough to truly integrate you into his world. That's because he wants to maintain control, he wants to avoid responsibility, and he wants to keep his options open. A man who is ready to claim you has nothing to hide. He wants you to know his life. He wants you to be a part of it, and he welcomes your presence in every corner of his world. Transparency is not just honesty, it's inclusion, and inclusion is what separates being kept from being chosen. Number 4, and this one is huge, is emotional availability. A man who keeps you around will often be emotionally distant. He will avoid deep conversations. He will dodge vulnerability. He will keep the intimacy surface level. He may flirt, he may touch, he may kiss, but he won't let you in. He may even feign emotion when it suits him, but the depth isn't there. Real emotional connection requires commitment, requires courage, requires willingness to risk. A man who is keeping you will give you just enough emotion to keep you hooked, but he will never fully invest. He will never fully open his heart, because that requires claiming. And claiming comes with risk, responsibility, and accountability. The 5th sign is lack of future planning with you. A man who won't claim you will avoid making plans that include you in the long term. He may talk vaguely about the future, but he won't map it out with you. He won't plan trips. He won't make commitments that go beyond the immediate. A man who is ready to claim you will make decisions that include you. He will actively integrate you into his life path. If he doesn't, it's a sign that he is keeping you on the side, enjoying the moment without committing to the journey. Another sign to watch for is preferential treatment, or lack thereof. A man who is keeping you around but won't claim you may treat you well in public, but in private, it's a different story. He may prioritize other aspects of his life over you, constantly putting his career, friends, or hobbies above the relationship, and yet he expects you to always be available for him. That imbalance is a clear indicator that he hasn't chosen you. He's enjoying the perks of your attention without taking on the responsibilities of partnership. And let's not forget about the excuses. A man who won't claim you will always have a reason why he can't commit. I'm busy. I'm not ready. I need more time. I've got too much going on. Excuses are a way of avoiding accountability. Excuses are a way of maintaining comfort without stepping into commitment. A man who is ready doesn't make excuses. He makes decisions. He shows up. He acts. He invests. And the absence of action in the presence of words is a sure sign that you are being kept, not chosen. Here's another one: secret keeping. A man who keeps you may hide aspects of his life, like other relationships or dating interests. He may maintain options because he's not ready to be exclusive. And women, I know it hurts to think about, but this is reality. You deserve to be someone's only choice, someone's priority, someone who is chosen above all else. If he is hiding things or keeping you in the shadows, he's keeping you, not claiming you. Finally, pay attention to the energy in the relationship. A man who keeps you will create a dynamic where you are always chasing, always wondering, always hoping. That uncertainty, that emotional whiplash, that imbalance, that's a red flag. A man who chooses you creates stability, consistency, and reassurance. He makes you feel safe, valued, and prioritized. A man who keeps you creates tension, confusion, and doubt. And once you recognize the difference, once you understand the signs, you can start making decisions that honor your worth, protect your heart, and lead you to the man who is actually ready to claim you. Because here's the bottom line. Being kept is not love. Being kept is convenience. Being kept is a temporary arrangement to satisfy a man's needs without demanding accountability. And women, you are too valuable to settle for being someone's backup plan, someone's safe option, someone's comfort zone. You deserve a man who sees your worth, who values your time, who claims you proudly, intentionally, and without hesitation, and who is willing to show up every single day to prove it. Recognizing the signs that you're being kept is the first step toward walking away from what isn't yours to hold and toward embracing the love that is ready and willing to claim you.